Yes or no, do you believe military women should be in all roles in the military?
Women have joined
Yes
our
or
military
no, sir?
in record numbers
Should
under this
women be
administration.
in all roles in the military?
Standards should be high and equal for
Yes
all
or
positions.
no, sir? We agree. Should they
Standards-
be in all roles in the
So
military?
my job is that
yes
10%
or no?
stays as sharp as
Reclaiming my
possible.
time.
Standards should be high and equal.
Reclaiming my time. Will you agree that women should be able to perform in all combat roles?
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Look, if there is one thing I cannot stand about modern politics, it's the absolute theater of Capitol Hill hearings. You know exactly what I'm talking about. A politician gets 5 minutes on the mic, and instead of actually trying to get answers or solve a problem, they spend the entire time trying to manufacture a viral gotcha clip for Twitter and MSNBC. That is exactly what we just witnessed here with Representative Chrissy Houlihan trying to corner Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. She brings in the giant printed-out prop boards, because of course she does, and tries to force him into these ridiculous context-free yes or no boxes about women in combat. Hegseth, who actually wrote the book on military lethality and knows what it takes to win wars, is sitting there trying to talk about military standards, and she literally just keeps screaming "reclaiming my time" over him. It is political grandstanding at its worst, and honestly, it's an insult to the actual seriousness of our national defense. Let's roll the full tape, and then we're going to break down exactly why Hegseth is absolutely right here and why Houlihan's argument totally misses the mark.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, I've been looking forward very much to our time together. My name is Chrissy Houlihan. In addition to representing a part of Pennsylvania, the 6th District, I also am a veteran. I come from a family of veterans and service members, and it's very deeply personal to me, this conversation that we're having, as I know it is to you as well. Over the last several days, I've had the opportunity to watch a bit of the hearings that you have testified at this week, and I can see and know that you have quite a bit to say. But since I only have 5 minutes, I'm going to try and focus my time on a concept that you talk about very frequently, and that is lethality. By definition, lethality simply means being capable of causing death. Secretary Hegseth, I have a couple of clarifying questions that I'd like very much to get through. So in the interest of time and efficiency, I would ask just simply for a yes or no from you for the answers to these questions in advance, and I thank you. So given that definition of lethality, would it be fair to say that both men and women are, generally speaking, capable of causing death?
It depends
yes
on
or no, sir?
Depends on the context.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Are men and women capable of causing death?
It depends on the context.
Yes or no?
It depends on the context.
It's unbelievable to me that you can't come up with an answer whether or not a man or a woman can cause death. That's an obvious yes. Would it be fair to say that the U.S. military trains our soldiers in multiple ways to be capable of causing death, whether they are men or women?
That's a big part of our job.
Yes. Would it be fair to say that both men and women are capable of pulling a trigger of a rifle to cause death? Yes or no?
Sure.
And would it be fair to say that both men and women are capable of operating an unmanned combat drone or maybe pushing a button to launch a missile to cause death again? Yes or no?
I know what you're getting at, ma'am.
Yes?
But it is,
so lastly,
men and women
sir,
carry equipment differently,
lastly,
a 155 round
lastly,
differently,
sir,
a rucksack differently,
reclaiming
a 240
my
Bravo
time,
machine gun
I asked
differently.
about missiles
There are
and drones,
different-
sir.
It is the gentlelady's
Reclaiming my
time.
Reclaiming my time,
Just pause.
sir.
It is the gentlelady's time.
Would it be fair, finally, to say that both men and women are capable of piloting a jet or a helicopter to combat people and to cause death as a consequence?
A lot of wonderful female
Yes
pilots.
or no? So while I agree with you that physical fitness, as you were mentioning, is a very strong and important component of lethality, the warfighter that you have written about in your books and talked about on various podcasts is but a very, very small piece of the overall lethality picture. In fact, we estimate only about 10% of our military personnel are directly involved in the kind of combat that you're referring to. Rather, 90%, that's the math, of our troops are doing other jobs that support and enable those 10%. So to put it simply, lethality cannot be measured solely by the damage that a 6'3", 225-pound Christian male with a rifle can do to the enemy anymore. Sure, I agree he's part of that solution, but it is an incomplete and at best very dangerous and very homogeneous description of that. Lethality is equal parts technical skills, tactical experience, cognitive problem solving, and physical fitness. It's not about one person, but it's about many. It's not about blue or red. It's not about liberal or conservative, Christian, Jewish, or agnostic. It's not about North and South. Here are some statements that you have said previously about women in service. This is 2024, sir, not when you were a 19-year-old. You have said that women are life givers, that dads push us to take risks, and that moms put the training wheels on our bikes, that we need moms, but not in the military. Secondly, you have said, I am straight up just saying we should not have women in combat roles. It hasn't made us more effective, and it hasn't made us more lethal. With what's left of my time, sir, I will say to you that women have served our country for 200 plus years in our militaries and in service and protection of our nation. They are watching you, what you do and what you say, and we deserve better from you. Women can and do serve with lethality today. We can and do all of the jobs that are required of us. Yes or no, do you believe military women should be in all roles in the military?
Women have joined
Yes
our
or
military
no, sir?
in record numbers
Should
under this
women be
administration.
in all roles in the military?
Standards should be high and equal for
Yes
all
or
positions.
no, sir? We agree. Should they
Standards-
be in all roles in the
So
military?
my job is that
yes
10%
or no?
stays as sharp as
Reclaiming my
possible.
time.
Standards should be high and equal.
Reclaiming my time. Will you agree that that women should be able to perform in all combat roles, assuming they meet the standards?
Gentlelady's time's expired.
All right, guys, let's unpack this absolute masterclass in missing the point. First of all, let's talk about this rapid-fire yes or no interrogation style she comes out the gate with. Can a woman pull a trigger? Can a woman push a drone button? Give me a break. Obviously, the answer is yes. My 10-year-old nephew can physically pull a trigger. That doesn't mean I'm sending him to Fallujah. Houlihan is building this massive straw man argument. Nobody, and certainly not Pete Hegseth, is arguing that women don't have the literal finger strength to push a button or pull a trigger. Hegseth correctly tries to step in and say it depends on the context, because guess what? War isn't fought in a vacuum. War isn't just standing in a climate-controlled room pushing a button. Infantry combat, the tip of the spear, is about carrying a 100-pound rucksack for 20 miles through the mud, functioning on zero sleep, kicking indoors and dragging a 225-pound wounded buddy out of a firefight while under heavy machine gun fire. Houlihan totally glosses over the biological, physiological reality of ground combat. Hegseth tries to bring up how a 155mm artillery round is carried differently, or how a machine gun is carried differently, and what does she do? Boom! Cuts him off. Reclaiming my time. She doesn't want to hear the reality because the reality destroys her narrative. And then she shoots her own argument in the foot. She literally says, well, the warfighters you talk about only make up about 10% of the military. 90% are doing support jobs. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Congresswoman. Women are incredibly valuable in that 90%. They've served honorably for decades in intelligence, logistics, aviation, medical, you name it. Hegseth isn't saying women shouldn't be in the military, but that 10%, that infantry combat element, that is the most brutal, unforgiving environment on planet Earth. If it's only 10% of the force, shouldn't we demand that it be comprised of the absolute most physically dominant, lethal individuals possible? Why would we ever mess with the standards of the tip of the spear just to satisfy some modern political diversity quota? And then comes the grand finale, the moment she was waiting for. She pulls out the giant quote board. You can tell she was practicing this in the mirror all morning. She demands a yes or no. Should women be in all roles in the military? Hegseth's answer is the only answer a Secretary of Defense should ever give. Standards should be high and equal for all positions. That is the mic drop right there. But Houlihan hates that answer. Why? Because she knows, and everyone in the Pentagon knows, that if you keep the physical combat standards truly high and truly equal, extremely few women will qualify for those specific special operations and infantry roles. Houlihan doesn't actually want equal standards, she wants equal outcomes. And to get equal outcomes across all combat roles, you have to lower the standards. Period. Hegseth is looking at this through the lens of a guy who wants to win wars and bring our boys home alive. Lethality is his only metric. Houlihan is looking at this through the lens of a politician who wants to score points for equity. When you treat the military like a social experiment instead of a war-fighting machine, people die. Hegseth knows it. He stood his ground and he refused to play her little game. Good for him. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Am I crazy here, or is Hegseth the only one talking sense? Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.